everyone and welcome back to Erudemy Learning. Today we are going to be doing another book review. It is one of the many adaptations of the novel, but this one is by Howard Pyle. It is called The Adventures of Robin Hood. As always, let us start with a summary of the novel. Robin Hood, who is on his way to an archery contest but accidentally kills one of the sheriff's officers. This causes Robin to live a life of being an outlaw. The sheriff vows to catch Robin Hood for his crimes, and in each of the 3 stories he tries to. In the first story, he sends a tinker to serve papers to Robin Hood. However, Robin gives the tinker a strong drink that makes him sleepy and steals the papers. In the second story, the sheriff holds an archery match in Nottingham, hoping to lure Robin. However, Robin comes in disguise, wins, and leaves the sheriff a note. Later, the sheriff captures Will Stuntly and announces that he will be hanged for his crimes. However, Little John postpones the execution just so Robin and his men could save Will. Robin returns to Nottingham with a disguise, a meat cart, and sets both next to Guide Hall, where he was invited to feast by the sheriff. Robin then sells the sheriff a deer instead of the cattle. In the third story, the king steps up and hires a thief, Guy of Gisborne, to kill Robin. However, Robin wins the confrontation but later gets a fever. Robin hides in his cousin's home for treatment. However, his cousin betrays and kills Robin. Now that you have an initial understanding of the book, let us meet its characters. The Adventures of Robin Hood, as the title would suggest, focuses largely on the protagonist, Robin Hood. Robin Hood is a noble outlaw and uses his status as a thief and criminal to subvert the sheriff of Nottingham and famously steals from the rich to give to the poor. Robin recruits and leads a gang of misfits called the Merry Men, who all fight against injustice in Nottingham. The Sheriff of Nottingham acts as the main antagonist in the Adventures of Robin Hood book. The sheriff is responsible for putting a bounty on Robin's head and declaring him an outlaw after Robin killed his cousin and poached a king's deer. The sheriff devises many plans to capture and trick Robin and his men, but Robin and his merry men are always one step ahead of him. I like the plot and the constant meeting of new characters that helped the story, because we would learn a person's story every few pages and see how Robin and Little John either try to help him or ask him to join their band. And there was some action too. I guess that was kind of obvious. The villain constantly getting outsmarted was always fun to read. The writing style was such a poetic and fun style. The verbs were all Old English ones like quoth, bid, jest, prate, spak, etc. The characters were actually pretty diverse and entertaining, and the description was amazing. Emotions felt. I did have strong emotions for this book, especially when the sheriff got hilariously tricked by Robin and when Robin gets betrayed and dies. Was the end satisfying? The end was satisfying. I definitely did not expect Robin tragically dying at the end and thought the merry band would prevail. Similar books. They Called Us Enemies by George Takei, Justin Ensigno, and Steve Scott. Time Riders by Alex Caro. And The Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. Conclusion. I give this book a 4 out of 5 rating. It was an interesting read which I recommend to readers who are into historical fiction. I hope you like this video. In the next video, we are going to be doing another book review. Until then, bye.